This is already starting off. Going to be a fun one, huh? Yeti Black says, "Do you know black people don't have to interact with any of you white people?" Right. I know that. Nobody has to interact with anybody. I don't have to read your comments. I don't have to call out the saint in the center for being a gaslighting pussy who attacks black women because he's scared of white men. As you can see in the thumbnail, I assume you read the thumbnail. That's an email I sent to him asking for the link. I didn't get the link because he's scared of the white man. How late am I? What? I'm not even that late. I'm not even that late. What are you freaking out for, Yeti Black? I'm on black people time. He's the same guy that challenged Duke the Don to a fight and turned it down after Duke accepted. That's what so, I don't really know a ton about the guy. I've been subscribed to him for I guess a little bit, but I don't really watch much of his shit. But I did catch we're gonna review it. I did catch his stream, I don't know, a few days ago. That it's what I sent that email during, because I got blocked on both his channels. You got two channels, the Saint in the Center, which is the main one, and then Marquette for Women, which no woman should ever listen to this dude, ever. But my comments in his live chat were much gentler than my email that's on the thumbnail. Or less antagonistic, right? At that point, by the time I sent the email, I'd already been blocked from both of his channels with no real acknowledgement, just kind of a silent blocking, which is the right way to deal with somebody if you actually don't want to deal with them. That's why I emailed him. I told him he was scared of the white man. He is scared of the white man. Easier to beat up on black women, but then gaslight them into thinking that you're not beating up on them, which is exactly what the fuck he did, which is exactly what we're going to review, which is exactly why I'm calling out. I've tagged him, and I'll publicly say that the Saint in the Center, or what's his name? Marquette. Hold on. Marquette Davon, whatever bitch ass name that is. Marquette. That's not a man's name. I guess neither is Taylor, which is what mine is. Taylor Grift. By the way, don't forget to donate, to like the video and subscribe and share it around. I'm freaking out, yet you're going live at 6:30. Yeah, I know. My sleep schedule is permafucked. I don't know what all you guys schedule is. I assume that you're freaking out because you're typing in all caps and with a lot of exclamation points. Are you not freaking out? Are you super calm? What is funny is you will miss my Spurgs, and you will miss my Spurgs is that you do not defeat these guys with blue pill. You beat them with the black pill. If this is the same Muppet with no hair and a shitty beard, I think, yes, that is the same one. But the black pill's a step in, I don't know if it's a step in a worse direction, but it's not really good direction. I'm not trying to pill anybody. I don't do pills. I don't care about pills. The only pill that I give a fuck about, like I've said before, is Oxycontin, and I don't see you offering me any of that. So my interest is I'm not trying to pill anybody. The world doesn't operate according to pills, different pills. It's not blue pill. You've got to like stretch your brain outside of that paradigm, Casper. The world's more nuanced and diverse than just, are you a red pill, a white pill, a black pill, or a blue pill? You mean Duke Pharaoh? Is Duke the Don Duke Pharaoh? Chalk demons. I'm the powdered dusty. I ain't no chalk demon. Although that doesn't, I've heard worse things. It is early. What is it with all you people monitoring my bedtime? Well, you black people will stop monitoring my fucking bedtime while you're awake. Okay, I don't care. I'm not representing a pill and I'm not addressing a pill. I'm representing myself and I'm addressing another dude. Okay, Bearsworth is calm. Not enough exclamation points. What is your cause, Yeti Black? What cause are you going for? Here, let me pull this up and we can get into it. Although I am curious what your cause is. And I still can't tell. Like, I still think that you're yelling at me. But I'm not sure. Saint and the sinner are scared of the white man. Whoops, that's the wrong. Oh, no, wait, that's... Nope, yep, that's the wrong one. Here we go. This one. Oh, yeah, and before we get started, don't forget the Crucible, or I'm sorry, the Cuckable mug is available for a limited time only. It will be discontinued at the end of this year. So if you want a Cuckable mug, now is the time to get it. Buy one for yourself, buy one for your wife, buy one for her boyfriend, and you all will be drinking in style. There's the link for that. God damn, this is going to be fun. All right, let's get into this douchebag. Now, first of all, I want to point out that this Saint guy on the left, he just looks like a bitch. Do you see that bitch face? He just got resting bitch face, and this guy claims to be he used to be a boxer. I've heard him make all sort of claims about his past. He grew up in the street. He learned how he's a fighter. That face has never been punched. It hasn't. So in this interaction, this woman here called in. Apparently, she left a comment on one of his other posts or videos or something. She left a comment on something that he did, and so he invites her in for what I believe is probably a trap. He probably knew exactly what he was going to do with her, but she shows up, seems unsuspecting and in good faith, and it's kind of infuriating to watch this dude, verbally, I suppose, but mentally and emotionally beat up this woman and tell her that it's love. Like, bitch, this is love. It's the most, it's just bullshit. But if you're scared of the white man, like Marquette is, I guess you beat up black women.
Peace to the saints. We are back with another discussion. This time we have a real live black woman here. And what precisely would you like to discuss?
Just your thoughts on black women being angry and potentially deserving kind of what ensued in that video. So obviously I think there was a guy that was just hitting these women. I couldn't see why that happened. I couldn't see the beginning of it. But I think you were like, so I'm like, well, they're there to protect black women, but sometimes, the way they behave, they're a bit ratchet or something, and sometimes they can deserve that. And so obviously as a black woman, as you said, I was a bit caught off guard by that because I didn't necessarily agree, but I do understand that women in general, I don't think women in general should hit women or have violence towards men. Sorry, not women, men, because I think, like, I have a son, and so if any woman hit him, I think he has a right to defend himself, but I would hope that it would be kind of self-defense, which I couldn't see from that whether it was or not, and that's why I wasn't very strong in my comment.
So presumably Saint here posted some sort of a video of a dude punching a chick, and this woman didn't like it. I don't know for sure. I'm just gathering that from this context, but if she's saying you could not tell from the context of the video whether or not the hit was justified, right? Then then it's not justified, right? Like, without justifying context, just video of a dude punching a chick is bullshit. You don't like, that's the sort of content that you don't need to leave ambiguous at all. If there's mitigating context, then state it. Otherwise, you're just a dude publishing gratuitous violence against women, and you're a piece of shit. And I don't know why you have a channel called Marquette for Women. You clearly hate them.
To you, I was like, surely nobody should be here, and yeah. So it would be interesting to kind of get your views, because obviously we also live in different countries. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think that makes sense.
So, number one, I was speaking to the situation of the Black American man and woman, and there is no doubt that both are in disrepair. In this particular case, we were seeing the high testosterone Black female behave like an animal, and I was addressing that.
And then that's the tell right there. The high testosterone Black female or Black woman, right? It's just a sneaky way of sliding all Black women into the mix, right? That's the disingenuous diss that he slid in there. And yeah, let me not get ahead of myself.
For the Black man and woman are a natural pair, and it is the Black man who is in a leadership position, which means that the Black woman is in the position of the follower, to be obedient and to be subject to the man.
And what we're going to watch here is exactly why women should approach that paradigm with caution and discernment, because he's going to use his his whole presentation, the suit, the slow talking, he even drinks with his pinky up, I know. This is just priming her. He's just priming her. I'm the man, you're the woman. I'm the leader, you're the follower, right? First thing out of his mouth to set the tone of the conversation. But in my opinion, this woman should never have followed his lead at all, because all he did was bully her for an hour and a half and then make a good video out of it that other dudes who hate women can watch and cheer for. She got set up. He wasn't leading her. He wasn't protecting her. He was attacking her and baiting her.
They're failing to do so. They don't get the protections of a man. And what I explained in that video is that for the Black woman to be under our protection, they must be under our leadership. And as they refuse to do so, they're going to experience various consequences, which you saw in that.
Why is he smiling and laughing right here? We're thinking about the video apparently of a woman, I don't know, Black woman getting hit by a Black man.
Various consequences, which you saw.
Happiest we've seen him so far
in that video, but I will at some point play the video. But so far, do you have any objections to what was? I will at some point play the video.
This man's nose has never been broken.
But so far, do you have any objections?
If he were a fighter like he says he was, he would have had at least a broken nose by now.
To what was noted.
Well, it's the term leadership, because don't you? Well, maybe you wouldn't agree because you're not a woman, but for me as a woman to feel that I should be submissive, so to speak, but for me as a woman to feel that I should be submissive, so to speak, or follow a man, I need him to feel protected by him. And if you don't feel protected by him, especially Black women, we don't feel protected. That could lead to women acting in a way that they shouldn't. But at the same time, I don't think that should result in them being hit or anyone.
Well, that's a misrepresentation of my position. I've not said that at all. So that has come out of your mouth and out of your mind, and perhaps from your background.
Should result in, but at the same time, I don't think that should result in them being it or anyone.
Well, that's a misrepresentation of my position. I've not said.
Yeah, she didn't say that you said that. You're misrepresenting her position now by saying that she said that about you.
That at all. So that has come out of your mouth and out of your mind and perhaps from your background. But most
instantly there. See, everything that he says to her right out the gate is insidious and undermining. She did not say that you had said that. She was giving her thoughts on the topic at large. You accused her of saying that and then gaslit her further by suggesting that it came out of her past. Maybe it did come out of her past. I don't know. But this dude, Marquette, has no better idea than I do. Actually, he probably has less of an idea than I do because I've seen a good chunk of this interaction.
Importantly, I must concede that I look at the situation as follows. Are you an oncologist?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So if you were to get a cancer diagnosis, you probably wouldn't know how to treat the cancer. Would you agree?
That's correct.
Yes. The Black woman in America, and in fact, I'd say women increasingly throughout the West, they have a cancer of the mind. They know not how to treat it, but they pretend as though they are doctors who can self-heal, and they find themselves digging.
Gaslight like a motherfucker.
So if you were to get a cancer diagnosis, you probably wouldn't know how to treat the cancer. Would you agree?
That's correct.
Yes. The Black woman in America, and in fact, I'd say women increasingly throughout the West, they have a cancer of the mind. They know not how to treat it, but they pretend as though they are doctors who can self-heal, and they find.
If the Black women have a cancer of the mind that they can't self-treat, then Marquette, I'm in a better position than you are to help with it because I'm the white man.
Themselves digging themselves deeper.
The white man that
the mind. I'd say women increasingly throughout the West, they have a cancer of the mind. They know not how to treat it, but they pretend as though they are doctors who can self-heal. They find themselves digging themselves deeper into problems. And the sadness is that even women such as yourself, who, for this moment, you seem to be civil and polite. I know that any woman who agrees with me who disagrees with me is already on the wrong path. And your life, the reality of your life today will reflect that. I've never had a woman who's happily married to a good man and has children and a happy, healthy.
Anyone who disagrees with me is already on the wrong path. That dude is completely full of shit. Anybody who makes anybody who makes a statement like this, agree with me or you're fucked, is automatically lying, automatically disingenuous. That statement is so manipulative and it lacks the wisdom or integrity to acknowledge that he could be mistaken. Everybody's been wrong about something. If somebody's speaking to you from a position where they are not acknowledging that or not aware of that, tell them to fuck off.
Nuclear family who disagrees with me. I've never met you before. Would I be correct to say that you're not currently married to the father of your child?
That's correct.
Yes. And the reason that I know that you're not happily married to the father of your child is because you object to obedience. And it is the disobedient female who has. Okay, you're speaking while I'm speaking. So I'll stop speaking so that you can interrupt me. Go ahead.
You were saying stuff about her that was inaccurate. That's exactly where she should have stopped you so that you don't continue to build on a faulty foundation. But you're going to use it, in a deceptive way to prove that she's disobedient.
No, I actually don't. I don't disagree with you. I think in a marriage or in a relationship that there are roles that men and women play, and I do have to respect your partner, your man, and being an African, that is kind of the background that I come from. But I'm just saying that it still doesn't mean that violence is the answer, and I think that's for me where the issue lies. I don't think we're speaking necessarily in completely opposite things, but it's just for me the act of violence. That's what I have an issue with.
Well, that is not what you have an issue with.
Bro. So he just popped up the chat over here. I assume that he saw something. It was not on the screen before, but I assume that he saw something in chat that he wanted to pull up. Oh, probably the very bottom comment there says she's proving his point, which is exactly the trick he played on her.
Well, that is not what you have an issue with. I would forward that you're an unruly woman and you are oriented on being disobedient, and you will find any explanation to make an excuse for your disobedient and unruly nature. And because of that, there can be no reasoning with you. You've misrepresented my position and suggested that I've spoken of violence toward women, which I've done none of the sort, and I would not. I've never committed it, and I've also never spoken in favor of it. To be clear for everyone watching, you're referring to a video whereby you see about 10 high testosterone, disobedient, unruly, wildebeest Black females descending upon one single man who is in fact wearing a shirt that says what on it?
I actually didn't see what it said.
It said security. His shirt said security, which means that he was the authority there. He was the order. He was the law. And they were rebelling against man's law and their typical nature. And in fact, they were trying to jump him. And he was not only establishing order, but also protecting himself. So
If a whole group of women are all pissed off at the same dude, there might be a reason. Just because his shirt says security doesn't mean fuck all. He can still be a piece of shit. He could still be in the wrong. And he's obviously not got the leadership characteristics, I suppose, that would incentivize women to follow him. Women will follow you if, like she said, like the actual woman said, if she trusts you. However, this bitch dude thinks that he knows women better than women know women. So maybe, I could see, you know what? I could see this being a female to male tranny here. Little pointy features, little soft hands, little thin voice.
mischaracterize what I've said because your nature itself is unruly and disobedient. And it's not until you're willing to accept goodness, purity, and a man's leadership that you can even comprehend my words or comprehend the world around you.
Can I interject then? Is it okay for me to speak?
I yield the floor to you.
Thank you. And so why do you think I'm disobedient? Because I think that's a bit of an unfair.
It's not that I think. I've seen you a million times. I know you, in fact, better than you know yourself, which is why I said to you, madam,
what the fuck did I just say? This dude thinks he knows women better than women. He just said the same thing. What an arrogant piece of shit.
I know you, in fact, better than you know yourself, which is why I said to you, madam, I've never met you. I don't know your name. I don't know your ethnicity. I don't know your location. But I do know that you're a single mother and you're not with the father of your child. It's like, how could I possibly know that?
I'm not a single mother, actually.
By your definition, you're not a single mother. But by my definition, you are a single mother.
Oh, so you redefine the words. You're just going to make up your own definitions when you got called out for being wrong?
Because I do.
This is why he doesn't want to talk to the white man. Saint or Marquette, whatever the fuck your gay name is, you are scared of the white man.
Do not believe in mixing paternal blood, which is to say, once a woman has been planted in by one man, it's a wrap. You do not bring another man or plant. I do definition, you're not a single mother. But by my definition, you are a single mother because I do not believe in mixing paternal blood, which is to say, once a woman has been planted in by one man, it's a wrap. You do not bring another man around that child. You put the child at risk. You should probably look at the data on children being sexually abused by males in their home who are not their blood-related father. That is not proper. That is against my law. That's why I say you're a single mother because you're not with the father of that child. And procreation is marriage. Mixing paternal blood, which definition you are a single mother, because I do not believe in mixing paternal blood, which is
What in the fuck does that mean? There's some bro science out there that I've heard floating around the red pill, or I don't know what pills. Sorry, Casper, just ignore that comment. Floating around the "we hate women's" corners of the internet that say that women store the DNA of every man they've ever had sex with. I think that might be what he's referring to. If you're interested, you can look into it, but look deeper than the first shocking headline that you read. It's complete trash science, but it did find traction with a certain subset of women hating dudes, right? What was that? Hate 304s.
to say, once a woman has been planted in by one man, it's a wrap. You do not bring another man around
I think that's what he's referring to.
that child. You put the child at risk. You should probably look at the data on children being sexually abused by males in their home who are not their blood-related father.
Which would be whose fault? If the men are the leaders, okay, and the man's child is getting molested by another man, that's the man's fault then, under your paradigm. If you think that women need to follow men's leads, but there's the man who should be there because it's his kid isn't their lead, Marquette, who's to blame here?
That is not proper. That is against my law. That's why I say you're a single mother, because you're not with the father of that child. And procreation is marriage.
That's your opinion. I don't think.
Well, you're an unruly woman, so anything that does not fit the way you live and the way you behave, and you're behaving in low ways, anything that does not fit that, you're going to dismiss it.
Ant says people believe the Earth is flat and only 6,000 years old. That theory is reasonable by comparison. I don't think it is reasonable by comparison. First of all, you've never been to space to see the shape of the Earth, and you weren't here 6,000 years ago to prove the Earth was still here. But we all know women, and I think most of us understand how vaginas work, and that in order for a woman to store permanently the DNA of a man she had sex with, it would mean either A, like it just doesn't ever get cleaned out in there, which, I mean, not to get too graphic, but it does, at least, even if a woman never bathes, it wouldn't stay there forever. Biological material, DNA doesn't live forever, for one. And for two, periods happen, right? So it's not like it will just physically hang out in there forever. Two, the other option is that it actually gets absorbed and incorporated into her DNA, and she becomes some sort of a fucking mutant. And that's absurd as well.
And that's why you're in this situation, because you don't want to be under divine law.
Okay. And so you don't think that there can be like two things can be true at the same time. So your this is to be judgmental and quite, because I'm not agreeing or necessarily seeing your view, so I'm disobedient because I haven't said anything about your character or who you are, because I have no idea. I think
I invite you to examine my character. I invite you to.
I took the invitation.
I have a book called The Black Box. It details my life from age 0 to 25. My life is.
I'm sure that it's very honest. I'm sure that you don't lie at all in it and say that you're a fighter.
It's fairly public. You can read about it in the media since before YouTube. I stand by my character 100%. I've never consumed a drop of alcohol. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never even drank coffee. I don't have any bastard children out in this world. I've never laid a hand on a woman. Anything that's documented.
He's never laid a hand on anybody. Look at those. Look at that.
About me, I stand by. I have a life that's well lived for making good decisions on a consistent basis. I, like you, am a human being, which means imperfect, but I've not made any major violations of divine law, and that's why I've not suffered as a result.
Neither have I actually. So that's good. And so
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. That is why you are a lonely mother. Like, you cannot keep overlooking that. That's a serious thing to take a child from living in the home of their blood father. That is a serious matter.
and that you can have.
The assumptions are wild that it's her fault, that she's lonely, right? He just shifted from well, she said she wasn't even single, so presumably she's remarried, right? Or and so that means she's not lonely. I mean, is this dude married? I don't see a wedding ring on his finger. What's with this lonely ass female to male trans man?
Your opinion, and I'm very happy for people.
That's not an opinion. That is a fact that's agreed upon the whole world over. You said that you're African. There's no African nation that believes that taking the child away from the father is an appropriate thing. What African nation is this? Please let me know.
Well, I think
no, let me know. Which African nation is it?
Well, there isn't. Obviously, that would be stupid. But I don't think that that's the case for everybody. There are also circumstances. Someone you don't even know if the father of my child died. You don't know the circumstances. So I feel
you guys always play that game. You play that game, and it shows the lack of integrity. Has the father of your child died?
He hasn't.
I want you to repeat that. I want you to repeat that. Has the father of your child died?
He hasn't. But everyone has.
No, he hasn't. Now, what I want you to know is that just to even say such a thing only exposes the wickedness within you. It's an evil thing to even suggest that the father of your child has died. Now, let me tell you something else that's very sad, because as I said, I've seen you a million times. There was another young lady whom I had the same conversation with. And when I said the same thing to her, which is that your wicked ways have led you to bad outcomes, she says, well, you don't even know if the father of my child is alive. And then I said, is the father of your child alive? And then she said, no, he's not alive. And then I said, you're lying. Then it turns out she was lying. You're on the same path.
Bullshit. The chat saying, yeah, the chat. I could see why he pulled the chat up. Like, he's using the chat to further gaslight her. He pulled it up, put it there so it's visible. And then the minute that somebody like me came into the chat and said, he's gaslighting you, which is actually the first few comments I made was, he's gaslighting you. I just silently get blocked and not acknowledged.
This her. That girl was an OF girl. You're not very far off, unfortunately, in terms of morality, because it's a sick thing to suggest that the father of your child is dead when he is in fact alive and well. Why would you even play like that?
Well, what I'm saying is that you would meet many different people who have different circumstances.
Now, are you going to ignore my question? My question is, why would you even play like that?
Because I'm trying to give you a scenario of where, when you're talking about.
But why not base your scenario on truth?
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking money.
Donate some freaking money.
Your life. Why are you talking about a life that you're actually not living?
I've said my circumstances, my situation, which I'm not embarrassed about, and I'm very happy to talk about it. But all I'm trying to say is that you can't judge everyone and tarnish everybody by the same brush, because people have different. You know what? People can have their opinion, and that's okay. But I think for me, what's unsettling and uncomfortable is that, the kind of very strong judgment or.
That's because you're in error. People who are making mistakes, they don't want their mistakes to be pointed out. For example, if you say, Marquette, would you mind living in a society that...
Casper, no, what the fuck is alpha? Nobody knows these stupid ass terms. The fact is, like, this whole interaction is plainly clear. She's called in to have a conversation with him. She's willing to hear him out. She's expressing her thoughts on it respectfully, politely. She's actually behaving submissively, and this dude's just attacking her. I don't know what the fuck Alpha Widow is, but it sounds derogatory, and she's done absolutely nothing wrong. If you can't see that, it's because you're stuck so far up your own fucking ass, and your mom, whoever the woman is that made you hate women, it's crazy. So, how long you started trolling Saint? LOL, epic. I'm not trolling. I mean, I'm antagonizing for sure, but I actually believe all the shit I say. This is not a troll. This man is actually just a whole bitch. Let me clarify. I do not actually believe that he is a female to male trans. I do believe that he's an evil piece of shit and that he's a bitch and that he prefers to attack black women because he's scared of white men, like I say in the email. Anyways, thank you for being the first dono. Let's first dono get some bombs. So let's
when you hear the sirens or anti-aircraft guns, you must get under cover at once. If you're in the open with no cover, lie down. The most important rule of all is never to stand staring at the sky. If you don't take cover, you may get hurt.
And Beth sent in $10 and said, "Don't cheat me now," and that other people need the help. So help her out. I'm glad that you're getting something out of this, Beth. Casper, where did you say something? What a piece of shit thing to say. What did I say that's a piece of shit thing to say? You can't, if you just sit around constantly attacking women or supporting people who attack women and then giving the stupid fucking labels all the time that nobody outside of your paradigm understands what the fuck you're talking about, but obviously is, I mean, not an alpha because alpha male, right? So alpha implies that she's behaving in a non-feminine way, and widow implies she's alone, right? So that's what you're saying. She's a dominant, alone woman. That's not a compliment. You're just sitting down there being snaky derogatory.
That prohibits all forms of filth. It prohibits sexual deviance. It prohibits excess consumption of sugar. It prohibits alcoholism. It prohibits drug abuse. It prohibits all of these bad things. I'd say no, because I wouldn't have to change a thing. With you, if we say, would you like to live in a society where we remove all of the filthy behaviors? You would not want to be in that society because you engage in those filthy behaviors. The reason you say that, oh, you're so judgmental, it's because you have error. You have committed error. And when you are judged, you will suffer from the judgment. You're trying to avoid consequences. That's all that is. Instead of doing the honorable thing and saying, I have committed a mistake, let me correct it, or let me at least concede that it is in fact a mistake. That's the problem. It's no accountability. Precisely why a woman is not to lead. That's precisely why a woman must be under a man. Because when a man commits error, a real man can acknowledge it and course correct. Conversely, a woman's, oh, don't judge me. Oh, don't judge me. Oh, it's okay. People live in different ways. There's different cultures. You say you're African, but you can't tell me what African culture condones your current way of living. None.
None do. So I'm in complete agreement with you. I'm 100% in agreement.
This woman is going so far out of her way to be submissive and cooperative with a man who is taking advantage of it. This is why, if you have an issue with women not being submissive enough, thank Marquette for it. This is exactly the sort of douchebag, the sort of untrustworthy man that positions himself as the sort of man that should lead, but he's not. It's a trap. It's a lie, and he's a piece of shit. And he's exactly why women don't trust men.
Agreed with you, absolutely, fundamentally agreed. So we don't disagree there, but everyone has.
Like, the biggest criticism I have for her at this point is why in the fuck she can't tell that this dude's a piece of shit, right? Like, she should be less submissive by now. It's been, we're only 14 minutes in. This dude's been done nothing but trash her the whole time. And she's still trying to live up to whatever stupid fucking standard he's placing on her, which is, it's deceptive, right? She's never going to be able to do anything to appease him because his agenda is different. He's not looking for cooperation.
Different ways of living or different circumstances. And
is that true what you just said? Is that true, what you just said? Let's look at the language. You said, quote, everyone, meaning everyone on earth, has different ways of living. If everyone has different ways of living, there'd be no such thing as a culture. A culture represents a significant grouping of people, maybe like the Ibu or the Xhosa or the Zulu or the Shona or fill in the blank. So cultures have similar ways of living. So when you say everyone has a different way of living, you are in fact lying. And it is that kind of wickedness. That is why I do my work. And that is why I'm also erecting culture and spreading it the world over so that we can stop this kind of behavior.
Okay. And so how do you go about doing that then?
Go about doing what?
Solution of everybody not committing, living lives that they shouldn't be living, or not following the right culture, or because everybody.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear your
I don't want to interrupt.
And there's the hot cold, the kiss slap. Thank you.
Interrupt you, please. My apologies.
That's okay. I'm very interested to hear your views because people have different circumstances, mindsets, motivations.
Yes.
How to get to a point where we all see things the same way.
Yes, I hear you. So are you a genius? Because I'm not a genius. You're not a genius, or are you a genius and I don't know it?
No, I'm not.
Okay, me either. So I say that to say,
real quick. So something looked familiar, so I looked up. We'll jump right back to this. This is brainwashing, how brainwashing works. Techniques. There's 10 steps listed here. I just pulled this up, and the first thing I see is step 1, assault on identity, which is exactly what he was doing there. It says assault on identity. You're not who you think you are. This is a systematic attack on a target's sense of self, also called the identity or ego, and their core belief system. The agent denies everything that makes the target who they are. You're not a soldier. You're not a man. You're not defending freedom. And this research was done on prisoners of war, which is why they had those 3 things, the bullet points. It's referencing to the research that this system came out of. In her case, it would be, you're not a good mom. You're not in a happy relationship, right? You're lonely. You're not submissive. You're not following a man, right? Like he's just breaking down her entire identity out the gate. The target is under constant attack for days, weeks, or months, to the point where they become exhausted, confused, and disoriented. In this state, their belief seems less solid. Step 2 is guilt. You are bad. While the identity crisis is setting in, the agent is simultaneously creating an overwhelming sense of guilt on the target. They repeatedly and mercilessly attack the subject for any sin the target has committed, large or small. The agent may criticize the target for everything from the evilness of their beliefs to the way they eat too slowly. The target begins to feel a general sense of shame that everything they do is wrong. What do you think she's feeling right now? What do you think he's feeling? What do you think she's feeling? Is it working? Stage 3 is self-betrayal. Agree with me that you're bad. Once the subject is disoriented and drowning in guilt, the agent forces them, either with the threat of physical harm or of continuance of the mental attack, to denounce their family, friends, and peers who share the same wrong belief system that they hold. Not exactly the same thing, but she did just agree that no culture anywhere ever would agree with her lifestyle, right? So actually, yeah, in a way that is this. Yeah, that's essentially the same thing, right? She just said that nobody ever would agree with her lifestyle, which is remarried, I believe, right? I think there's plenty of cultures that would agree with that. But she agreed with him anyways. Let's see. This betrayal of the target's beliefs beliefs and of the people they feel a sense of loyalty to. So they're not just self-betrayal, it's betrayal of those they feel a sense of loyalty to. Increases the shame and loss of identity they're already experiencing. So as they betray themselves and those they identify with, and then that's a spiral that exacerbates the first 3 steps. Breaking point. Step 4. Who am I? Where am I? And what am I supposed to do? With their identity in crisis, experiencing deep shame and having betrayed what they have always believed in, the target may undergo what people in the lay community refer to as a nervous breakdown, or a collection of severe symptoms that can indicate any number of psychological disturbances. It may involve uncontrollable sobbing, deep depression, and general disorientation. The target may have lost their grip on reality and have the feeling of being completely lost and alone. When the target reaches their breaking point, their sense of self-pity is pretty much up. Their sense of self is pretty much up for grabs. They have no clear understanding of who they are or what is happening to them. At this point, the agent sets up about to sneeze. At this point, the agent sets up the temptation to convert to another belief system that will save the target from their misery. What did he just thank her for?
Lives
That
people
question.
Anybody doing that then? And so how
That is why the behavior.
okay, and so how you go about doing that then?
Go about doing
What's
what?
your solution of everybody not committing, living lives that they shouldn't be living, or not following the right culture, or
Well,
because everybody.
Thank you for that
people-
question.
Who am I? Where am I? What am I supposed to do? She didn't even know what fucking question to ask.
Behavior.
Okay, and so how you go about doing that then?
Go about doing
What's
what?
your solution of everybody not committing, living lives that they shouldn't be living, or not following the right culture, or
Well,
because everybody.
Thank you for that
people-
question.
This is fucking crazy how perfectly these things match. I hadn't recognized it before I started this, but now that I'm into it, it's exactly right. So that moves into stage 2, right? The first 4 steps are part of stage 1, stage 2. In Lifton's second stage of brainwashing, agents present the individual with a perceived pathway to salvation or relief from their suffering. This creates hope and dependence as the target begins to believe that compliance with the agent's demands is the only way to attain relief or safety, deepening their vulnerability to manipulation. Leniency, step 5. First, the brainwasher shows leniency. With the target in a state of crisis, the agent offers some small kindness or reprieve from the abuse, like thanking her. The agent may offer the target a drink of water or take a moment to ask them what they miss about home. In a state of breakdown resulting from an endless psychological attack, the small kindness seems huge, and the target may experience a sense of relief and gratitude completely out of proportion to the offering, as if the agent has saved their life. Next is the compulsion to confess. So I don't think that we've hit that yet. Let's see if we do.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear your
I don't want to interrupt you, please. My apologies.
Sorry.
And we got another dono, and let me Dank the Freak sends in another $5. He said, "You think he's worse than Resto?" Fuck yes. I mean, I know Resto a lot better, but absolutely, from what I've seen so far, this dude is like Resto's flaky and chaotic, right? But he's a super save-a-ho, right? He's not actually out to hurt people. He's out to kind of try to fix the unfixable or something, right? Like, I don't know. It's his direction is the opposite of this dude's direction. Resto wants to save women. This dude wants to destroy women. You think he's worse than Resto? I'm a fan of Saint, so I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out in your analysis. He won't ignore this. All right. Well, I hope he doesn't. He is tagged. I tagged both of his channels in the description box. I do. This was not. I didn't. I had this scheduled for half an hour before I went live, and it's 6 in the morning on Saturday morning. I don't really expect him to show up here during it. For that reason. But no, he ignored my email. And he blocked me in his chats. So yeah, that's why we go live about shit like this, right? That's why I call out people publicly, because bitches like this, bitches like Saint, their ego is too big. His ego can't handle me sitting here saying that he looks like a female to male trans and that he's scared of the white man. What are you more scared of, Saint? Facing the white man or not facing the attack on your ego? Anyways, the freak, thank you for the donation.
Make money, make money, make money, make money, make money, make money. He's a motherfucking woman. He makes money.
That's okay. I'm very interested to hear your views because yeah, people have different circumstances, mindsets, motivations.
Yes.
Have to get to a point where we all see things the same way.
Yes, I hear you. So are you a genius? Because I'm not a genius. You're not a genius, or are you a genius and I don't know it?
No, I'm not.
Okay, me either. So I say that to say, because we are not geniuses, we're just everyday human beings. We can take what already exists in the world and try to take the best of it. One thing we know from the data, from our everyday observances, from common sense, even from our feelings, is that it is best that the mother and the father of a child be in the same household to raise that child.
Agreed.
And mostly,
not without exceptions. These are vast generalizations. Yes, generally that is the case. But that is rest on the assumption that on a lot of assumptions, right? Also, if we look at data or numbers for, kids of parents who are together versus families where the parents are not together, right? We live in a society, in a culture, in a time where anybody who's together, it's voluntary, right? So every kid whose parents are together, it means their parents still like each other at least enough to tolerate each other. If we were in a different culture, say one of the ones that he tried to reference and say that nobody would approve of her, if we were in a culture that didn't approve of divorce and wouldn't allow it, then you'd have all sorts of marriages that were way more toxic than a single parent household, but there wasn't shit anyone could do about it. That would definitely shift the data output, wouldn't it? Because it would change the profile.
the whole planet Earth agrees on that. Now, the question is, what are the impediments to that occurring? Well, one of the main impediments to that is female promiscuity. And it's a reasonable question to say, well, Marquette, what about male promiscuity? It's also a great evil, but the female promiscuity is a greater evil. Well, Marquette, well, how could that be? We're equal, aren't we? No. We are, in fact, not equal. We're not equal and we're not the same. You see, if you love, go out and you're promiscuous, you don't know who the father of the child is. Disgusting. If I go out and I'm promiscuous, we know precisely who the mother is and we know precisely who the father is. So if we wanted to proceed in family, we could very easily do that. That's number one reason why it's different. Number two reason why it's different is that
there's nothing about your sperm that lets you know that's your sperm, right? I mean, did I hear this right? I think you just said some bullshit.
If you love, go out and you're promiscuous, you don't know who the father of the child is. Disgusting. If I go out and I'm promiscuous, we know precisely who the mother is and we know precisely who the father is.
No, we don't. Not unless you know for a fact that you're the only chick of dudes that you've had sex. Not unless you know you're the only one who's fucked all these girls that you're being promiscuous with, but you don't.
So if we wanted to proceed in family, we could very easily do that.
Actually, she would know better than he would. Because he doesn't know where her vagina is when it's not with him. But did I say that right? He doesn't know what her vagina is doing when it's not with him, but she does because it's with her all the fucking time. So it's the opposite.
That's number one reason why it's different. Number two reason why it's different is that if you and I both go out and we're promiscuous, you're stuck with the baby. And you have oxytocin, a chemical, a divinity that connects you to the child, whereas the man just carries on, starts a whole new life and a whole new family. So the burden
only if he's trash, right,
of promiscuity and making mistakes is much lower for the man.
That is true.
So it is in protecting our women, in fact, protecting them from themselves, that I speak against female promiscuity. Now, Marquette, functionally, how do you prevent female promiscuity? Number one, having a culture that stigmatizes and shuns it. Number two, by training the youth, the girls, on what their trajectory should be. Number one, what is your purpose as a human female?
This dude should never be in charge of training girls anything.
Mostly you don't know because no one's told you. Your purpose is to indulge in family and find all of your joys through family, which would consist of being a great wife and an even better mother.
So you're a breeding slave. The reality is everybody has to find their own purpose. Nobody gets to assign you your purpose. You don't get to. She gets to choose her own purpose. You get to choose your own purpose. I get to choose my own purpose. But again, this is breaking down and gaslighting her and brainwashing, literally, as we saw and will continue to see, brainwashing her into being what he wants out of her. There are lots of women who actually want that lifestyle, the traditional lifestyle that he just described. You don't need to brainwash anyone into that. You just need to find one that wants it with you. If you have to break somebody down into wanting something that they didn't want before, I mean, you don't want that. You don't like. Why would you want? Just find one of the many, many, many women, probably the majority of women, who do want that thing. It's not like they're rare.
And you raise them up knowing that your purpose is family. So let's achieve that sooner rather than later. And you teach them how to choose a man. You don't choose him by the yearnings of your loins. You choose him by his ability to be a husband and a father. And I actually have a training center that I'm building. I'm raising capital for right now. There's a GoFundMe to fund the training center. And that is where we will give that education. I'm already giving it. I have a group of women called the Lady Saints. Shout out to Diamond, who's in the chat right now. THESASN.com. Click join. We have the Lady Saints. They meet on a regular basis. And we give this
fuck that shit
education. That is how we move the world forward. We have locations, sections, we call them, around the world, which teach us education on a regular basis. And that's how we're pushing it.
That sounds great. But I'd like to touch on
that sounds great, but tell me more about that phraseology.
Yes, of course.
It means that you suck dick, dude. You should not be training anybody shit, much, especially not women, but not anybody.
I'm very happy to. So obviously, to have a healthy relationship, to raise a child in a healthy home, also women.
In the chat over here, it looks like Nightbot or one of the mods dropped. I can't tell, but it says, looking for a supportive group of like-minded women? Join the Lady Saints. DM us at, and then there's the Instagram link. God damn.
To thrive, for men to thrive.
In the very bottom comment down there, I bet she got blocked too. Auntie C says, it is a morally depraved mindset that believes training girls is imperative but ignores the poor behavior of boys. Got to agree. That's very well stated. I'm sure she got blocked immediately.
It takes, in my view, it would take men and women working towards that goal, right? So where is the responsibility on men in this?
Oh, there it is.
How do we work together to create healthy relationships, healthy society, to, as you say, condemn promiscuity, to condemn domestic violence?
And don't forget, this whole conversation started because she objected to a video he shared that showed a dude punching a girl. Had nothing to do with female promiscuity. He's completely spun this whole motherfucker around into what's wrong with her from like immediately from the very beginning. He barely addressed the fact that he's out here sharing videos of dudes punching chicks in a way that suggests it's the woman's fault she got punched.
You keep bringing up violence. You really keep bringing up violence.
Oh, well, that's what she fucking came here for, bro.
I know that there's a trauma there.
I don't know about America, but in the UK,
there's a topic there. That's what this discussion is supposed to be about, bro.
Been a huge rise in violence against women and girls.
I don't think that's actually true. I think that's probably not true at all. And the reason that I say that is because, it was in the 1950s that you can lay out your old lady, and even if she calls the police come like, hey, that's a domestic affair. I don't want to get involved. Certainly there's been decreasing violence against women, but there have been increasing lies about how to categorize it. You see, now we call everything human trafficking, whether it is or isn't. Now we call cat calls or assault. If someone whistles at a woman in the UK, it's an assault. It's ridiculous. Now,
you poor fucking victim.
What has your experience been with violence against women?
Well, starting very minor from catcalling.
That's not violence. I mean actual violence, not fake violence.
So no one's ever physically attacked me, but during COVID.
But why do you keep bringing up violence against women? You've had no experience with it. Why do you keep doing that?
Have you had experience with it, Marquette?
Because that's what I see. I read in the news. I see in the news. That is a fact.
Okay, so you said that's what you see. Now let's set apart the news, because the news and media is designed to get your attention. So they say if it bleeds, it leads, right? So they're going to push more violence. They're going to push more sexual things. Let's use common sense here. Now, what have you seen in your real life? Help me there.
Well, it's people's personal stories, which I wouldn't want to divulge on air to random people. But
so she doesn't want to divulge other people's personal business. That's reasonable.
No, I'm not talking about stories. Stories are not what you've seen. So please listen to me, dear. What have you seen?
As in actually physically seeing someone being attacked? Is that?
Auntie C in the chat says, why do you want to be able to whistle at a woman? Is that how you want men to call you? All right, that's kind of a disappointing comment coming from her last one. Her last comment was on point. This is a stupid rebuttal. Wish I'd read that before I read it out loud. Another commenter, Lewis Thomas, says, absolute lie about the increased violence to women, all in her head. Really, bro? How the fuck do you have that information? Unique 79 says, nobody cat calls over here. She is capping Marquette. So
what you're asking? Please.
Yeah, you said it.
Actually physically seeing someone being attacked? Is that what you're asking? Please.
Yeah, you said it's on the rise. You should be able to see it. I'll give you an example of what I mean.
No, you shouldn't. Dudes who beat up women tend to try to do it in secrecy or privacy. By its very nature, it's something that you would not see a lot of.
My neighborhood, let me give you an example, since you're avoiding the question. I grew up in a ghetto. In my ghetto, I will
bullshit.
Tell you that my ghetto has a lot of violence. My ghetto has a lot of drug sales. My ghetto has women selling their bodies. Marquette, what have you seen? Did you see this on the news? Did you hear about it? Are you guessing it? No. When I would walk to school, I would walk by women selling their body. I would walk.
How do you know that? Did you see them getting fucked? No. You heard about it from somebody. You don't know what they were selling. They may have just been standing there selling fucking Girl Scout cookies. You don't know. Unless you were watching them get fucked, right? Isn't that the standard we're holding her to?
By people shooting dice, using drugs, and
this dude says that he's never done drugs, never drank even coffee. How do you know all these people were doing drugs? How do you know they were? What did you see, Marquette? Also, I don't believe for a second that you grew up in a ghetto.
was in a number of fades. I've seen a lot of fades. It's a regular occurrence. That's the evidence. I don't have to look on the news because it's that common. Now, what have you seen in terms of this male on female?
And you're telling me that you were raised around all this shit and you never saw a hooker with a black eye? If you can assume that she's a hooker and she's having sex for money, you can also assume that black eye was from a pissed off John or a pimp.
Violence you're claiming is so rampant in the United Kingdom. Please describe it.
We had a big case of a girl that was attacked, raped, and killed.
Was that on the news? Was that on the news?
Yes, it was on the news. Can you let me?
Okay, please listen. I specifically said not on the news. You're not.
So the only events that occur in this situation are ones she witnessed. You're saying that rape doesn't happen unless she watched it being done. That's fucking crazy.
Listening. I told you at the beginning, you are disobedient. You are disobedient. You are disobedient. You are disobedient. Now I will add to that. You are dishonest. You are dishonest. You are dishonest. That is why you are single.
God damn, is he going back to step one of the brainwashing paradigm or fucking what?
You're not listening. I told you at the beginning, you are disobedient. You are disobedient. You are disobedient. You are disobedient. Now I will add to that. You are dishonest. You are dishonest. You are dishonest. That is why you are single. It's the dishonesty. It's the disobedience. I very simply said you're making up things. There is not the violence. You're brainwashed by liberal white women. The moment I ask you to justify it with the reality, things you can touch, not what you hear, not falsehood, not fake news. I said, if it's so common, what have you seen? And then you go back to the news. What have you seen in real life is what I'm asking you.
Is there any reason you're shouting? Because I think we're having a civil conversation.
Yes, there is. I'll tell you why. It's because I've asked you the same question 4 times, and it's as though you're not comprehending it. And so I must concede, love, that probably similar to your baby daddy, it's frustrating to talk to someone who refuses to acknowledge what you're saying or cooperate. It's difficult to communicate honestly and sincerely with someone who confronts you with dishonesty and insincerity. You might understand that that's frustrating.
I think I'm frustrated by the way you're talking, but I just choose to go about it in a different way. I don't think I need to be disrespectful.
I'm communicating clearly. It's a pleasure to communicate with me. You, on the other hand, you're sitting in a car out in the public in a place that's so dangerous. I'm shocked that you'd be sitting out in the car because any man could come and accost you at any moment because you're looking forward. You should have your head on the swivel. The fact is you're lying. You're a liar and you won't admit that you're lying. And that's the problem with you. And that's why I told you earlier, I said to you, you are a woman with cancer and you are not an oncologist, but you are convinced that you can rid yourself of the cancer. All the while, you die from it. And what's more, it's worse than cancer because it's almost like something that is a contagion that can spread. And you spread stupidity. Nothing you've said makes sense. Your life itself reflects bad decisions, yet you think you know. Yet you think you know. Doesn't make any sense.
If stage 2, if you're having difficulty entering stage 2, go back and repeat stage 1, breaking down the self. Assault on identity. You're not who you think you are. Guilt. You're bad. Self-betrayal. Agree with me that you are bad. And the breaking point. Who am I? Where am I? And what am I supposed to do? He got through this whole first round. Thought he was ready to move on to the second. He found some resistance. We're right back to the beginning. Boom. And he loves it.
You don't think I know. I came on to have a conversation, to hear your views, to share my views, and clearly we don't agree, and that, to me, that's fine. And thank you so much for your thoughts and feedback about my life and answer, and I hope that one day I will be
There it
healed.
was. Watch this
Or
pinky.
if you don't agree, and that, to me, that's fine. And thank you so
There
much.
it is. There's the pinky.
Thoughts and feedback about my life and answer, and I hope that one day I will be healed. So just pray for me.
Can I ask you real quick, humbly? May I ask you humbly?
Yeah, of course.
What about your life makes you think you're qualified to share your views of the world?
You fucking invited her. And anybody's welcome to share their views in the world. What qualifies you? What qualifies me? She's a fucking human. She's on a channel. And in this case, you qualified her. You did. Dumb pussy. Dumb pussy. Scared of white men. Scared to talk to white men. So you're going to bully a black woman. You qualified her as if she needed it from you.
Because I'm human.
There you go.
I'm very opinionated about many things.
Jeffrey Dahmer is human.
And if somebody's going to listen, he has his right to express his opinion. That's it. You are the listener. You are the audience. If you invite Jeffrey Dahmer to talk to you on your show, he has a right to do that. The fuck kind of question is this?
I like to
Adolf Hitler's opinionated.
Yeah, and that's fine. But you're asking me a question, I'm giving you an answer, and you're kind of, so I don't really know what to say. I can't say anything other than what
I'll tell you what I'm doing here. I'm doing something that's unusual. I'm confronting you with the truth, and I'm telling you that we're not all equal. And I'm also revealing the fact that if you fail at life, you shouldn't be telling people how to live life. I'm telling you that just like a physician has to get credentials and qualification to advise people on their health, just like a musician probably should be able to read music and has studied music, that is why we regard them. And I'm telling you that if life were a performance or a school, you are a person without credential, you're a person without success in this realm. In as much as that's the case, you should not be on the stage teaching. You should be in the audience learning. It is only due to...
She's not teaching. She's not presenting herself as a teacher. She's sharing her opinion like you invited her to do. You're the one presenting yourself as a teacher and an expert in all things. You're just a douchebag and a gaslighter. It's pretty easy to see from the outside. I'm amazed that anybody even likes this dude at all. He's a complete douchebag. The manipulation is transparent. Probably because it's fucking textbook. It's textbook brainwashing. So, Saint, what are your credentials? Huh? And bring proof of them, because that bitch-ass little nose has never been punched in your life. Those soft little hands have never punched in your life. And you're lying about your past.
Your hubris that you sit here and think that you can advise people while being a lonely mother. And that is precisely why you are a lonely mother, because you believe you know that which you do not know. And it is truly disappointing that I even have to say this, because I appear to be rude when in fact I have enough heart to tell the truth. People think that love is the sweetness and the kindness. Sometimes love is strict and love is disciplined. And I'd be damned if I'm going to have women listening to a lonely mother about how to live life, because lonely mothers are a detriment to our society.
Not as much as predatory men. So I just put one of my bougie snacks right in my face.
We might be. So as I said,
No, there's not might. All the data says so. You don't look at the data. You look at the news, but you don't look at the data.
Is the data something you see with your eyes? This dude is all over the fucking place. No consistency in his standards at all.
Well, I don't agree with that opinion. And even if I read that, I wouldn't necessarily agree with it. So
you don't get to agree or disagree with the facts. You see, that's the thing. For example,
if you get to disqualify things that she read about in the news, if you're disqualifying third-hand source or second-hand sources, then you're disqualifying them across the board. You dumb fuck.
A black man. I don't get to agree or disagree with that category. You see, that's the thing. For example, I'm a black man. I don't get to agree or disagree with that category.
I disagree. You are black, but you're not a man.
It is a fact.
No, it's not.
That can be skewed.
That's why you're pushing it so hard. You're projecting your transness onto reality. You know in the back of your head that you were born with a pussy.
And as I said, for back, I'm not a lonely mother, but thank you for your thoughts on
No,
that.
you are. You are. You're not
really?
with the father of your child. That's full stop.
So that's the full stop, right? So that's how you define.
That's a full
it. Okay.
stop.
So that's what how you define whether or not somebody's lonely is. Are they with the parent of their child? That's fucking retarded.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That's how everyone defines it.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't think anybody defines it that way.
You see, now we have all of these euphemisms to make you feel better about your bad decisions. You see, they have a co-parenting. Here's a comedy. 20 years ago, no one ever heard of co-parenting, right? Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why you have to add modifiers. It's a modifier. Co-parenting. We knew about parenting. Fathers. Stepfather. No, we knew about fathers. What's this?
You didn't know about stepfathers when we were kids? What the fuck are you talking about? Of course we did.
Father. You have to add a modifier. You see, these are all creations to explain away our low ways of living. And I find it.
No, they're modifiers to explain the subtleties and nuances within life. And step parents certainly agree. Certainly, like, this dude's full of shit.
To be particularly disheartening when you reference your African culture, which you won't share. And the even more curious part is you're not in.
She has not. This is the second time I've heard him reference her African culture. I haven't heard her say a damn thing about it.
In Africa. So apparently you won't share. And the even more curious part is you're not in Africa. So apparently your African culture is not one that you love because you're in London. And maybe you try to turn around and say the same thing to me. My people were held in captive. I don't have any connection to an African culture, but you reference an African culture that you're not willing to be a part of.
Did she
reference from Ghana?
That? Did she reference African culture and I missed it? Chat, help me out here. Did I miss her referencing African culture?
No, actually, I'm from Kenya, East Africa.
From Kenya. I've been to Kenya probably more times than you. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, why don't you want to live in Kenya since you're so Kenyan?
Have you asked me why?
No, she does know who the father is. She knows who the father is. She's not still with him. Yeah. Okay. Not that I heard either.
How many times I've been to Kenya?
Well, I'm asking you, why don't you live there since you reference that culture and that's where you're culturally situated? Why don't you live there?
I don't think that she did. Anybody else? Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody. She didn't reference that, bro.
My mom brought me here when I was very young, so I've been here for 29 years now.
Okay, and you have had 29 years to move back, and why haven't you been back?
Because I like living here. I work. I study
okay.
here.
So then don't reference Kenyan culture because you don't live like a Kenyan. You live like a Londoner, which means in filth and in low ways with immorality. That's what you live like.
With immorality.
And you're comfortable with that. So why even reference Kenya?
Because that is my home. That's where I'm from. And I go home actually every
No,
year.
no, that's not your home. And then this is the stuff. This is why the whites in the UK are so mad at you guys. This is why the whites are mad at you. Because you want to be so Kenyan, but you refuse to go live in Kenya. You see, like me, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm so Ethiopian, but I'm living in Beverly Hills. Apparently, I like Beverly Hills. That's why I'm in Beverly Hills.
Why can't we live wherever we want to?
I bet he's not in Beverly Hills. Just gauging by how much I think everything about this man is a lie, or this woman, this female to male transitioner. I bet he's got a good green screen. I doubt he's in Beverly Hills. I mean, not that couldn't be a real room anywhere else in the world, but while we're paused here, don't forget that you can have your very own The Cuckable mug, available only for a limited time from my Teespring store. The Cuckable mug. Buy one for yourself, buy one for your wife, and buy one for her boyfriend as well. I'm about to drop the link there. Get them while you can. Right there.
to live.
You
Why-
can live wherever you want to live, and you should appreciate where you are, and you should be honest. You see, when we have the discussion, you start talking about African values. You don't live out African values. And so the best way to view me is someone who's holding you accountable to be honest. That's why you're having a challenge, because the people in the UK, they're so polite and so nice. It's almost never that you have someone tell you the truth about who you are. And who you are, mind you, is a representation not of your ideas, it's a representation of your activities, what you actually do. You see, so your activities are not those of a high Kenyan culture that you're referencing. Your activities are those of a Londoner who's very liberal and is living in a declining Western society. That is who you are.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Next. Any other insult to throw my way or to tell me?
The truth is not an insult. The truth is not an insult. If you say, "Hey, Marquette, you're bald head," I say, "You damn right." That's not an insult.
Hey, Marquette, you got a vagina. Hey, Marquette, you're not tough. You're not from the ghetto. Hey, Marquette, you're not telling the truth. You're lying. Hey, Marquette, you got no place teaching women shit. Hey, Marquette, you're the reason that more women don't trust men to lead them. Hey, Marquette, what the fuck kind of a name for a man is Marquette? And my name's Taylor, and I'm asking you, who the fuck names their son Marquette?
Marquette, you have a scruffy beard. I absolutely do. Hey, Marquette.
To stop.
What was the insult? What did I say that was a pejorative, that was inaccurate? That's an insult. When you lie about someone or when you exaggerate a bad quality.
Mother, and I'm not. And I think also
when you exaggerate a bad quality, like when you say that she's a lonely mother because she's not with the dad. She said at the very beginning she's not a single mom. But he's gone on to say that she's alone because not according to my definition. Bullshit. Fuck your definition.
You are a lonely mother.
There it is.
A narrative to young women, or because people, anyway, as I said, you don't know people's situations. And I think that rather than what would actually be nice is that if you would have been like,
nice. You've had too much niceness.
Have I? Okay, great.
Yes. Oh, by the way, folks, if you have a comment question for the young lady, I can tell she wants to leave because she hates the truth. You can use the information below to send in your comments and questions and support the work. Please do send it in now. Go ahead, dear.
So that comment was at me. That's where I got blocked at. Oh, my window's in front of the comments here. I wonder if my comment rolled up. Oh yeah, there it is. The Powder Dusty. Let me back up and see if I get some more. Okay, there's my first comment. It says he's, and then the cap emoji, like he's cap. And then my second comment is, "Hey Marquette, you're gaslighting." And then he said, and then that's when he said the send in the money thing.
And I think young women or
here, I'm gonna so that you can watch it roll up on screen if you care to.
People, anyway, as I said, you don't know people's situations.
There it is.
And I think that rather than what would actually be nice is that if you would have been like,
nice. You've had too much niceness.
Have I? Okay, great.
Yes. Oh, by the way, folks, if you have a comment question.
Watch his little bitch ass expression. He's like, "Damn it, I don't like what I just saw down there." Happy.
Anyway, as I said, you don't know people's situations.
Shit, he just
and
got.
I think that
Damn it.
rather than what would actually
you fag.
be nice is that if you would have been like,
nice. You've had too much niceness.
Have I? Okay, great.
Yes. Oh, by the way, folks.
Oh, by the way, now you're blocked, so go ahead and send me money. Fuck you. This is when I sent him the email telling me he's scared of the white man. He is scared of the white man.
If you have a comment question for the young lady, I can tell she wants to leave because she hates the truth. You can use the information below to send in your comments and questions and support the work. Please do send it in now. Go ahead, dear. I'll yield the floor to you.
I don't know who this is to, but yeah, I haven't. DeFreak is the last one who sent a super chat. I have not seen one come up over here. Sometimes if you like lose signal while it's processing, it'll Google's always been great about refunding super chats that had a connection issue and didn't go through on my end. But yeah, no, I have not received a super chat. I have not. In fact, I have not received a dono in damn near 50 minutes. So we're gonna need to do that. We're gonna need to do that.
I don't hate the truth, but I think that
You despise it.
No, I actually don't. And if I did, I wouldn't have come on this call with you, to be honest. And I think there are some many.
P. Godson, are you asking for a link, or are you saying you want to pull up to wherever he's at?
Great points you're making, and I have no issue there. And I think that you can have healthy disagreements, discussions. You don't have to. This is how the world can move forward. And actually, when you have discussions with people, maybe some of the other things you said might land in time. But I think for me, it's the way you speak to somebody, the way you try and understand where they're coming from, the way you try and reason with people. I think that's important, rather than
Men don't need to reason with women because you guys are not reasonable. That's where you're messing up. You're not reasonable. That's why I can't reason with you. Like, are you missing that part?
She's absolutely reasonable.
Clearly
The
I
reason,
am.
Yes, you
the
got.
reason that you can't reason with her is because you're not reasonable, literally, by the definition of it. You have no desire to reason. You're being not reasonable, and he's projecting it on her.
You guys
Crazy.
are not reasonable. Stop it. Like, whoever told you that you're reasonable is ludicrous. The idea that a woman is reasonable is similar to the idea that a woman is physically strong. Can you guys lift some things? Yes, absolutely. But would I leave it to you to move furniture in and out of a home? Absolutely not. That's not your strong suit. Reason is not your strong suit. Like, do you not realize
She's definitely doing it better than you are, bro.
that reason is not a woman's strong area of strength? Are you not aware of that?
I disagree. Of course I do, because that, I think is outrageous to say that as a fundamental.
That's not outrageous.
Yes, it is.
Let me give you another one. Let me try another one that's simpler. Let's see if you're going to rock with that one. Let me try one more. Are women or men or women? Who's more emotional?
Women.
Women. Okay. Now, on the opposite side of emotion, would you say is reason and logic?
No. I would not say it's on the opposite side of emotional. The opposite side of emotion would be indifference.
Are you going to be honest? Are you going to be honest?
Typically, not always, but typically, emotions do follow a fast and loose form of reason.
Yeah.
Yes, the analog of emotionalism, would you say, would that be being reasonable, logical? The opposite of being emotional? Okay, what is the opposite of being emotional?
Non-emotional. I don't know. That's kind of stumped me there. So please educate.
I stumped you. Extraordinary.
Educate me.
I cannot educate you, love. I can only lead you, you see, because there are things that you refuse to understand.
I cannot educate you. I can only lead you. That's just a backwards way of saying I'm not going to explain things to you, and I expect you to obey.
And there are things that you cannot understand. Some you refuse actively to understand, and others you cannot understand.
Crazy.
So I cannot educate you. I can lead you. I cannot teach you in the ways and in the thinking of a man, but I can lead you, and you can follow in the way of a woman. You see, we have some beta males in the audience. They don't even know that they're beta males. For example, we have an individual who wrote this right here. He writes, "She's not bad, though. She listens, tries answering back, and is very cordial. This person is an imbecile and doesn't even know it." You see, this is the kind of guy that would get with a woman like you, think that he has a good deal, and end up experiencing the fact that you're not so nice as you would appear. You're unruly, you're disobedient, and the marriage will fall apart very quickly. You'll end up being a lonely mother, and he'll end up being a stepdad, both to his own kid and to another kid, because he's a lame. And that's the problem, that he's not manly, so he doesn't have the skills to decipher what you actually are. That's why I have something called the Big Game Conference to teach young men how to decipher what you are, because I've seen you a million times. Guys don't have my level of experience. That's why I can't see through you. I see through you very easily.
Where have you seen me? Sorry.
I've seen you all over the place. I've seen you in every country. I've seen you in every economic strata. I've seen you on replay. I'll give you an example. For example, earlier in this conversation, you said,
well, bro, you're not even talking to her then. You're talking past her at some archetype of a bad woman that you encounter. Like, this is where the cliche question, who hurt you, comes from. You're obviously so traumatized and broken from something that you're not able to speak to the person in front of you. You're speaking past her to a fucking memory, to a ghost of Marquette past.
something that I'd heard before. And I referenced it when you said, well, what if my baby daddy is dead? And I said, is he? And you're like, no. And I'm like, boop, gotcha. And then before that, I said, hey, I've never met you, but I can tell from your unruly nature, you're a lonely mother. You're not with the father of your child.
Hold on.
Are you? You're like, nope. I'm like, boom, gotcha. So the question is, how is it while you're a stranger, I know all these things about you? The only reason I know these things about you is because I've seen you a million times. You think that you're unique.
You know these things about you because she trusted you mistakenly enough to give you information that you're now using against her.
You think you're a special snowflake. No, you're not. You're a photocopy of many liberal white women. You are an acolyte of the liberal white woman. You are not an individual. You are not what you say you are. You are merely the creation of the thinking, the errant thinking of the liberal white woman. You couldn't explain half the things you do. You couldn't explain your nose ring. You can't explain the tattoos on your hands. All of these things you think you made decisions, but you didn't make decisions. You're following a broken culture. Come on now.
Fair enough. Maybe you're right.
What?
Maybe you're right.
There's no maybe.
What was that? Hold on. We're back over here. We're back over on the stages of brainwashing. Let's see. Stage 2, possibility of salvation. Let's see. We'd gotten through leniency, compulsion to confess. Did we get this one? Next, the brainwasher offers an opportunity for confession for the first time in the brainwashing process. The target is faced with the contrast between the guilt and pain of identity assault and the sudden relief of leniency. The target may feel a desire to reciprocate the kindness offered to them, and at this point, the agent may present the possibility of confession as a means to relieving guilt and pain. I think we're there.
And I just find it strange. I just find it strange to know, like, where does your source of confidence come?
Oh, shit. Dono, $2 from the freak says, war is brewing. White man angle is the cherry on top. Well, this video is actually that we're reviewing is actually called Debate Black Woman versus Marquette. He don't even put her fucking name in there. He's just calling her Black Woman. So, Marquette, you black bitch. Here's the white man calling you on your fuck shit. Thank you for the dono to freak.
That you think you should be advising people in the public sphere.
Where have I advised anybody? I was my advice.
That's what you're here. You're here sharing your ideas. Why do you think that you should be here sharing your ideas? What in your life
you invited
has suggested
her
that you're qualified to do so?
You invited her.
Why not? Okay, so you said you're a reasonable person. I asked you a question, and then your answer was, why not? Is that reasonable?
Yes.
Is that reasonable?
Yes.
Reasonable. Let's break down the word etymology. Reasonable. Reason, base word. Did you give a reason? Is why not a reason, or is it a question?
But I have views and thoughts on things, right? And I have made judgments or taken a particular viewpoint on something, and I'm sharing it from my experiences, my thoughts, my upbringing, and many other things that I've seen, I've read, I've experienced. So that's why I'm here to have this discussion with you. And what I commented was, surely, I even asked you a question. I said something like, violence to anyone is wrong. Surely this isn't right. I was asking you your opinion, because actually I do repost a lot of what you said, because a lot of things you said I actually agree with. So I wanted us to have
that.
So this is a discussion. I even have a podcast. I have discussions with people about various things, and I'm very happy to be proven wrong. I'm very happy to be educated / led or whatever it could be. So I'm not here saying, listen to me, this is what I think, you should do this. But I think we need to be able to have discussions, healthy discussions, because that's the only.
No, we don't. Like in China, they just made a rule that podcasters cannot speak on certain topics unless they have the requisite education in that area. And I think that's probably a good thing. The truth of the matter is that in your case, you are a product of lack of education and also miseducation. That's miseducation by the liberal white woman. Marquette, what do you mean? I'll give you an example. You repeatedly kept mentioning violence against women, violence against women, violence against women, which is a fiction of the leftist, hyper-liberal, lesbian, white woman ideology. And when I said, well, give me an example of something you've seen.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Violence against women doesn't exist. Okay.
It's so common, and you couldn't give me a single instance. That's because it's lies and it's made up. Now, here's the more important part. Have you ever, Matt, may I ask you a question, and would you be kind enough to answer it honestly? Would you be kind enough to answer this question honestly?
Very honest, but okay, fine. Just still think I'm
okay,
wrong, but
all right. Here's my question.
Let's go.
Have you ever kissed a female?
Yes.
Okay. So.
And what was the step we just went over? Compulsion to confess. Let's see. What's the next step? I don't know if we're here yet. Channeling of guilt. This would be step what? Let's see. Leniency was 5, 6, 7. So channel 7 or step 7 in the 10-step brainwashing process would be channeling of guilt. Guilt is the real reason many subjects are in pain. After weeks or months of assault, confusion, breakdown, and moments of leniency, the target's guilt has lost all meaning. They're not sure what they have done wrong. They just know they're wrong. This creates something of a blank slate that lets the agent fill in the blanks. They can attach that guilt, that sense of wrongness, to whatever they want. The agent attaches the target's guilt to the belief system the agent is trying to replace. The agent comes to believe it is their belief system that is, the target comes to believe it is their belief system that is the cause of their shame. The contrast between old and new has been abolished. The old belief system is associated with psychological agony, and the new belief system is associated with the possibility of escaping agony. Step 8 of 10 would be releasing guilt. Next, releasing the guilt is a key step. The embattled target is relieved to learn there's an external cause of their wrongness, that they're not inescapably bad. This means they can escape their wrongness by escaping the wrong belief system. All they have to do is denounce the people and institutions associated with that belief system, and they won't be in pain anymore. The target has the power to release himself from wrongness by confessing to acts associated with their old belief system. With the target's full confessions, they have completed the psychological rejection of their former identity. It is now up to the agent to offer the target a new one. By the way, these steps of guilt these steps of brainwashing also align nicely with basically the narrative, salvation through religions, but that's a different discussion for a different stream.
So you've had some sexual contact with another female?
Yep, in university, yeah. I kissed,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that I knew the answer to that before I asked you?
I'm sure you did, yeah. I mean,
yes, I did, because you're a liberal white woman, and that's what you guys do. You engage in homosexuality. Now, here's the important thing. Since you're so African, you see, I've been to your country many times. Your country, it's more my country. But your homosexual behavior throughout the continent of Africa, how do they feel about that perversion?
Strongly against it.
Yeah. Do you know that there are places where they would take your life for that kind of behavior?
Yeah, including Kenya, they do that.
I see. So I want you to know you're not like us. You've been taken from us. You are a casualty, love. You're a casualty. You are not a part of the Black people. You do not respect our heritage. You don't respect our culture. You don't respect our ancestry. You are a liberal white woman. You see,
Right.
you are a slap in the face to us. And what's even worse than that is the sadness of knowing that you're raising a son, right? You have a son?
I do have a son.
I'm so good. So you have a son and you're raising a son while being a woman who is so lost that you
Bro, that is not good. She said that at the beginning of the fucking interview. 40 minutes ago, she said she had a son. You've been talking about her kid the whole fucking time. Now you want to act like you just magically conjured up that answer? It's crazy.
being a son, right? You have a son?
I do have a son.
I'm so good. So you have a son and you're raising a son while being a woman who is so lost that you would engage sexually with another female. So not only does he lack the masculine presence of his own father, he has a woman who doesn't even have feminine presence because she is so polluted that she would engage with another female. Whew, nasty work. Nasty work.
As I
That's
say,
nasty work.
I knew this guy was gay. Most women who have kissed a girl or made out with a girl did it for guys. We're down with that shit. You're not, because you're a gay man who hates women. Just like Chatter King so astutely pointed out, there are certainly a lot of gay men that actually hate women. This seems to be one of them. If he doesn't think that that's hot, if the thought of whatever, right? If he thinks that's nasty work. Shut up, queer.
No, that's nasty work.
pray for us fallen people. That's all I can say. And I will check.
Okay, that's what I paused it earlier and tried to look closer, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything. But I think you're right. I think he does have eyeliner on.
Out all the things that you said that you do, because that it would be quite interesting to see how you're leading the masses to live better lives.
Oh, you don't think he's gay? No, not Sasquatch. Sasquatch isn't gay. This dude I'm talking about, Marquette, this guy with the eyeliner on screen, he's the gay one.
Lives and not be so polluted and get rid of the cancers. So it's been really helpful. And
I appreciate that.
Know that I can't take the truth or I'm a liar, and but I do agree with you in that I definitely did not go into having a child wanting not to be with the father. That is never the goal. And I agree that if you have a child, you should try and raise a child in a home with both parents. Absolutely. And I also do agree that men and women have different roles, and men are seen and should lead. But I also think that it also needs to come from a place where women are respected, they feel valued, they feel supported. And if women don't feel like that, for whatever reason, it can make it hard to trust a man or even not be.
But you're not heterosexual though. Like that's a major fundamental issue. It's like you have to be heterosexual for all this to work.
I am. Actually, I am. So
how are you heterosexual but you're engaging sexually with women? Do you know what heterosexuality is?
That was like 15 years ago.
Let me ask you a question.
We're back to assault on identity. Keeping repeating the process. Yes, this is a straight woman, dude. Because she made out with a girl in college doesn't mean that she's not straight. This dude's fucking wild.
Let me ask you a question, love. Honestly.
Now, on the other hand, if a dude made out with a dude in college, probably means he's not straight.
Honestly, again.
The double standard is there for a reason.
If you're dealing with a man and you ask him, hey, have you ever kissed another guy? And he says, yeah, 15 years ago, I slobbed down a guy and we did this and that and this and that. Would you view him as heterosexual?
I'd view him as bisexual.
Aha. Okay, so did I just say bisexual or I said heterosexual, right? And then you said you're heterosexual. So according to your definition, you're actually bisexual then, right?
Well, not if you. No, because it was literally a kiss when I was in university many years ago. It wasn't any, and that's not my son's life, and that is God's honest truth. I have no reason to lie about that.
Okay. So if a man kissed another man dead in his mouth like you did with a woman, would you consider him to be heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual?
People do that.
It's different. It's different. This feminist gay man here thinking that men and women are the same, treating them like they're the same, attacking women like they're the same as men, hiding from the white man who sent you an email saying, hey, bro, give me a link. You're bullying this black woman because you're scared of the white man,
I don't know that. I don't. American
Here. Oh, in London, where you get your culture from.
Yeah, and I do. I've been here for a very long time, so I can't pretend that I don't have a lot of British ways, and and even when I go back home, they're like, "Oh my God, you're very Westernized." Yeah, if I lived in Kenya, I'd probably be very different, and I understand that. And
I'm just asking you this question: if a man kisses another man in the mouth, is he heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual?
But I feel like there's context because some.
Love, would you mind being honest? Would you mind being honest? Just for a moment. Just for a moment, dear. Just a moment. Would you mind just being honest? Just real quick. Just try honesty. See, again, do you remember when I said women are not reasonable? So you cannot reason with them.
I think
You're not reasonable. I cannot reason with you because you're going to lie. Everyone in the chat is saying gay. Everyone in the chat is saying you're lying. You're not reasonable. But you think you are. That's why real men don't talk to you guys.
Can I finish? Can I just explain? Can I say something?
Why? You can only lie after this.
No,
after you failed to answer the question, you can only lie after. Go ahead. Tell me lies.
Okay, I'll tell you this, which may answer or not answer. If I knew a guy, which also make me sound like a hypocrite, but if I dated a guy and I found out he kissed a man, I would not want to date them because I'd be worried that they could potentially go down that road. So why I say there's context.
What road? What is that? The gay road, or is that the
gay
which road is
gay
that?
Road.
Oh, the gay road. Okay.
The gay road. So I would be like, because it's not. Women can be a bit, kind of close and a bit strange, but I think men don't tend to kiss other men. It's not like because like with women, we go in the toilet together and we'll be like talking and laughing, and like that's what women do at times, but I don't think.
But you said women are just as reasonable as men. So to be reasonable means you